What you are looking at in front of you is not a regret, but it is the biggest mistake I've ever made in buying precious metals. I'll talk about it as we explore. There are very few of you who have been following this channel since its inception, but within the first year of me producing videos, I did my largest gold and silver unboxing, and remains to this day the largest I've ever done because I made a big mistake, but there's no regrets in that mistake. And I'm going to talk about why here in a moment, but first I want to remind you, channel sponsor Summit Metals. Whether you buy or sell, Summit Metals is the place to go. Check them out. And if you do sell to them, make sure to mention my name when you contact them, and you might get a little better price than what they have listed over on their website. But now, when you buy precious metals, I think you should do so for the exact opposite reasons as to why I purchased these pieces of metal here. I probably went about it the worst way possible. Here's what I did. I cashed out an IRA from a previous job, completely cashed it out, took a massive hit in taxes in order to buy precious metals. Why? Well, because it was at a time when gold and silver were coming back down off their recent all-time highs, especially silver, and I was thinking that they were going to climb right back up again, and this was the optimal opportunity to be able to accumulate gold and silver. Little did I know that just a few years later, they would go much further down in price, silver especially, but gold as well. And so I was wondering, did I make a mistake? And certainly I did. And by the way, that mistake was financial as well as other areas where it was a problem for me doing this because of the big tax hit. I'll never recover that money again, and Uncle Sam got that money. And so when you think about whenever you make a purchase of gold and silver, you should not do it out of fear. And that's the number one reason why it was a mistake, is I made these purchases out of fear. And I lost a lot of money within 2 to 3 years of making this purchase. And I was second guessing myself, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to hold on to them, and indeed I have throughout the course of time, and this is why you see these metals here right now. With gold reaching an all-time high now, when adjusted for inflation, am I still head out of water on these purchases? And with silver rising to above the price that I paid for these these silver bars? No, I'm still not out of water yet. My head is still not above water. I still have lost out. Why? Because when adjusted for inflation, the amount that I lost in cashing out my IRA, as well as the tax hit and the potential gains that I would have made on keeping the money there, I'm still not have broken even yet. Now, I've not done the intricate math on what the possibilities could be, but if you look at the S&P, look at all the areas of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the stock market has gone up tremendously. But I couldn't take advantage of those gains because that money was not there. And those gains were not to be realized because I cashed out that IRA and bought gold and silver with it. Now, you remember I said at the beginning of this video that I have no regrets on doing it. To this day, I still don't have any regrets because I'm holding for the long term. I still have the metals. They have not changed. And one of these days, I'm going to probably break even, probably fairly soon now. But of course, you have to speculate as to what the scenarios could be with the holdings of that IRA. I just don't know. But my guess is if you average it out, I'm still underwater on this. And that's okay in so much because I'm patient and I'm going to wait it out. And I also believe in having wealth outside of the system. But the overall lesson here is, folks, is that we should be very careful before we purchase precious metals and before we sell precious metals either. You don't want to sell at a loss. If I was to sell these right now, it would be at a loss, even though obviously with the price I paid for these bars, it has more than doubled in price since I made the purchase. But you would think, well, that's a huge win. That's great. That's performing better than inflation. But when you take into account the taxes that I had, the tax hit I had to make on this, and there were no precious metal IRAs at the time available, as well as potential gains in the stock market, I really am still underwater on this. It was a mistake, but not a regret, because I feel like it's good to have a wealth outside of the system. But in retrospect, looking back, I probably would not have done that. I would have found a different way to accumulate these metals, and maybe not 100-gram bars, but nonetheless, I would have probably could have gotten a few ounces just by working harder and working smarter and being more fiscally responsible. Probably could have still have done it. And certainly the silver, certainly I'm not above water on that either, because when adjusted for inflation, it's not done quite as well. Even though I paid, I think the spot price at the time I purchased these bars was like $31, but when adjusted for inflation from 10 years ago, I may be breaking even on them, and that's a big if. My guess is probably not. I've not done the math on that either, but. Folks, the lesson here is that I made a mistake, and even now with gold trading at a record high, and even now with silver for only the third time in history that is trading above $40 an ounce, well, it's still a mistake. It's still something that I've not recovered from yet financially. And mistakes do happen, and when you do make mistakes, you should own up to it. And the one way I'm owning up to it is holding on, not selling in a panic. And even though there are options and avenues more so than ever before where you can sell and do research to find out where the best place to sell, like Summit Metals. And again, I want to remind you, if and only if you decide to sell, make sure you reach out to them and ask for a better price than what they have listed on their website when you go to sell. And so there's options and better options out there now for it, I think. But obviously now this is not much of a seller's market as it is a buyer's market. And that's another reason why you need to be agile, and you need to really do your research before buying or selling precious metals. And I should have done that way back when. In fact, I can't tell you, there were several people who advised strongly against me doing it, including the financial advisor who was a custodian of my account. He said, this is a mistake. And I told him, well, I don't know, with all the quantitative easing going on out there, I don't see how this is going to end well. And I bought into the fear, and I made a mistake. And that mistake is still with me today. I've not come out on top yet. Or really, with precious metals, it's not about necessarily coming out on top. It's about breaking even. And by the way, you'll notice that this is a biggest stacking mistake, buying precious metals for stacking. I've made plenty more mistakes financially buying collector gold and silver. But there's no regrets either, because I don't buy them to recoup the cost or to profit. I buy collectible gold and silver because I enjoy them. But these bars are a constant reminder of that mistake. And I want to send this out as a lesson to all of you, that you can avoid the mistake I made by being smart when you make your purchases. Do your research. Channels like this are out there that may, entice you or encourage you to buy. But the thing is that it's fine to have precious metals. It's good, and it's exciting to see a market move in an upwards direction. But remember, folks, things can happen in an instant, and we could see gold and silver fall dramatically. And so don't let channels like mine try to persuade you or pressure you into buying gold and silver. You should only do so with the level of understanding and knowledge that you have of the precious metals, the economy, markets, and an understanding of what the dollar has done and will do continuously. I believe in having dollars on hand. I believe in being fiscally responsible. The dollar really is a losing proposition, but it is the most valued currency around the world. It is the strongest of all the currencies around the world. But it's still a losing proposition because it's lost value due to inflation. Gold and silver are a constant overall. Even in the volatility of the markets, they do remain a constant. So keep your head above water, folks. That's really what it's about. and it's about a savings vehicle outside of the system. That's why there's no regret when I bought these metals, and to this day, I have no regret, but I do recognize the mistake I've made, and we're going to make mistakes, all of us will, in buying precious metals, but when you believe in them for what they have been for thousands of years, it's something that you can work your way through as you hold through those periods where the price will eventually move up. And that's exactly what's happened now. I wanted to wait until this period of time when precious metals are up, and who knows where they're going to be by the time you watch this video. We could see them fall back a bit. It really doesn't matter because, in the long run, that's what it's about. It's about having money outside of the system. It's not about feeding the system of the market and the derivatives and all that. It's hard assets, and that's why there's no regrets. But I recognize the mistake, and this channel exists in part to try to warn you of making the same mistakes I did in your stacking journey. So I hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.